a bit of a disappearing act on Thursday and Friday, but we just need to observe the situation of things with all of the tempo that was building around the protest. One wasn't sure exactly what was happening, so we had a staggered programming, but it feels good to be able to come back here and have a conversation about Nigeria, national issues with you. Thank you so much for staying with your ultimate radio station, 95.1 Nigeria Info. I'll be your host from now to 7 p.m. and it will be plenty of catching up to do. So much to talk about, and I'm itching to get your perspective on the stories that we'll be looking at today. My name is Kimberly Wachku. Call me Kim, the Oracle, the Digital Oracle, OTF, the Fellow, or Chanya One, Madam Speaker. And I will say yes, yes, yes to them all. And we start off with the roundtable where we look at some of the big stories driving conversation. And one of the big stories, or the big stories, are tied around the protest, the president's speech, and what next. And I've got Barrister Victor Giwa with me in the studio to have this conversation. He's not just a legal practitioner and human rights activist, but he's also one that you call when we look at public affairs and social issues in Nigeria. Delighted to have you join us for the first time on the roundtable, Barrister Giwa. Welcome to the show.
Yeah, thank you so much. Good afternoon, listeners. I'm excited to see you.
I am double excited because I feel like it's been a minute. It's been a long time we actually had you here.
Quite some time. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah.
So, so much going on in the country at the moment, and it's not just Nigeria. So much is going on around the world. Yeah. I mean, in the UK, Sutherland, they had the protest over some bit of misinformation, who killed who, and they thought it was one demographic based on their faith and their color, and protest started, which degenerated into a riot and a crisis in which they were touching buildings. In Bangladesh, they chased their prime minister away. Prime minister just quickly resigned, jumped on a helicopter and flew to India. And they're saying that is a woman who's been there for a very long time, but people felt she was becoming too dictatorial, authoritarian, and in spite of whatever figure as to growth that Bangladesh is experiencing, the students there are saying, not good enough, ma'am, you're becoming a little too high-handed. So there's just so much going on around the world at the moment, and Nigeria, apparently, we're in the world. So something is going on here also, which is the bad governance and end hunger strike protest that is going on. But I need your quick opinion, Barrister Giwa, before we get into other stories and other aspects of it.
This is this digital leadership, digital followership, global world, global village, global leadership, online leadership, and online engagement, social media engagement, and all of that. For example, if you look at the crisis, the protest that occurred in UK, you will see that they are even making reference to the impact of social media, that a lot of the misinformation came as a result of social media. It's also happening in the United States, and like you said, the people are now getting aware. People are now asking questions. The world is now a global village. People can now, with just a press of a button, you can communicate with somebody in the UK. You can be online with somebody in America, and you are exchanging information. Yeah. And nobody at this digital era, nobody wants to be behind. Everybody wants to be up to speed with the current trend development. So people are exchanging files. They are looking at what's going on in your country, what is going on here. And that is why it's very important that our leaders should be extra sensitive. The dispensation we are right now is quite different from what we were 10, 15 years ago, because it's a time where people can now assess you, people can now question you, people can just be inside their house and now have a meeting of thousands of people, and within the social media, they can mobilize like we have been seeing, and they can go to the street and hold you accountable. So our leaders generally, globally, leaders are now, getting to know that people can reach you, people can question you, people can assess you, people can see what you are doing, people can follow your activities, people can trace you, people can question you. People can insult you from the social media. So everything you are doing is within the public space. So people can extray your activities. People can extray what you are doing, and so it allows for transparency. It allows for accountability. It allows for you to be able to show to people that you are doing what you need to do. And that is why right now, when we have Global Village, we have global villagers, we have global participants. People want to know what's happening in Nigeria. We are seeing what's happening in Bangladesh. We are seeing what is happening in UK.
Yeah.
People are comparing files. They are comparing notes so that they want to be sure that they are not lagging behind. And so as a leader, wherever you are in your own sphere, you must make sure that you yourself, you are not wanting, so that you can ensure that your followers have confidence.
We're actually getting to see the people's power come into play in some of the instances at this point in time. So where we are at the moment, the protest is meant to be for 10 days to expire on Saturday. However, the president did address the nation, and I already can sense mixed reaction from different people. Depends on who you ask. The president has mentioned all, he has articulated all that he's doing, and it does make a lot of sense. Some of these things are long-term. You need time to see the results, because it took time to get where we are at the moment. It wasn't like an overnight damage. Some will attribute his policies when he came into office as being directly responsible for some of the hardship that Nigerians are going through. But this addressed the nation, and people are wondering, okay, so where exactly are we in the middle of all of this at this point in time? Can you help us unravel that, Mr. Giwa?
No, thank you very much. You see, firstly, like I said, I've had opportunity of being in about two TV stations between yesterday and today. One was before the president addressed the nation, and the other was this morning after he did the address yesterday. I think we need to put these things in perspective. One, the people are making a demand. Their demand is born out of pains, out of despair, out of frustration, real problems. There is hunger in the land. There is over 30%, not of 30%, over 40% of Nigerians are exposed to multidimensional poverty. There's high inflation rate, over 26% inflation rate. Unemployment rate is very high. Prices of goods are going high geometrically. I mean, some people, their take home cannot take them home anymore. These are not political issues. These are real time issues. People cannot go to the market. A bag of rice is over 70,000 naira. People cannot, a crate of egg is over 4,000 naira. This was what was about 1,500.
5,000, 6,000.
This was something that was 1,500 before the president came into power. So what the people are asking for is, how did we get here? What are you doing? What can you do to address this issue now? And they have been able to connect what is happening right now to the attitude and the actions of the current government. For example, it is easy for you to connect the increment in the cost of items in market to the removal of fuel subsidy. You don't need a rocket science. You don't need anybody to tell you that, of course, Nigeria is like a generator-driven society. What we use is our gas. We use fuel to transport. You use diesel for generator. Everybody, if you want to your small generator at home, you use your fuel. Everything fuel. And now when you increase that particular commodity, there is a ripple effect on all the items and products. So people try to guard that particular sector. That, look, if you want to do anything that regards the petroleum sector, you need to do it cautiously, because the ripple effect is very high. And so while they are trying to manage the effects of removing of fuel subsidy, we were faced with one other one, the electricity tariff. Everybody in Nigeria, of course, with some 40%, 60% of Nigerians don't have electricity, but those that have, you now increase the tariff. So we are seeing the situation where two major components that affect the livelihood of an average citizen is being affected. Fuel, if I want to move right now, if you and I want to move, we need to enter into our car or we need to take a taxi, and the taxi has to get fuel. The man who is going to the market, the farmer who is in the farm needs to move his product to the market, he needs fuel. The woman that is going to the farm, either is using his leg or is entering bike, or they need fuel. So at the end of the day, those two major issues, two major components that affect the livelihood of an average Nigerian is being affected without a corresponding ameliorating effect in terms of measures to ameliorate the effect of those two components. And so Nigerians are asking this question: how do you want us to face this issue? And of course, when the fuel subsidy was removed, the electricity tariff was increased, Labour started talking about increasing minimum wage. And what they are saying is that you have taken everything from us. Where we are, what the source we are going to use to fund these two items is still, the variables is still constant. You have removed fuel subsidy, the prices of fuel have moved from 150 to over 800 to 1,000. You have increased the electricity tariff. Our minimum wage for the public servant and other sectors are still the same.
Okay, we'll take it up from here after this very quick break. Still, it's 95.1 Nigeria Info. It's the Roundtable.
More talk, news, and sports after this.
Hello, my name is Kimberly. I'm the host of Hard Facts, and I bring you the biggest stories driving conversation every weekday here on 95.1 Nigeria Info Hard Fact Show. I love to get your opinion and conjectures, but the facts you cannot dispute here on Hard Facts. Join me and let's talk.
Connection established. This is Nigeria Info.
Hard facts.
Yes, it's Hard Facts, and we're on the Roundtable. My guest is Barrister Victor Giwa, as we look at some of the big stories driving conversation in Nigeria today. If you're wondering, we're on Facebook and YouTube. Yes, at Nigeria Info Abuja on Facebook, at YouTube, at Nigeria Info Abuja also. Banglis Francis, I see you. Jonah Ame Manuel, I see you both on our Facebook page. Go join and follow the conversation. Leave your comment, your thoughts there. I'll read as many of them as possible. So, Barrister Giwa, yes, you were building on your point before the break.
So you can see that. So the people are asking these questions. How did we get here? What can you do as our president to reduce this pain, to address these issues? Something that is practical. And in their own assessment, they've said, look, you need to look. People are saying, "Oh, we don't have money." You said we should manage. You are saying that we should just bear we should just be patient with you. We should just be patient that the thing will be well and all of that. And they are looking at people you have within the cabinet. They are looking at your ministers. These people are living in opulence.
Yeah.
The government is very large. The few months ago, legislators were buying cars worth 140 million. And there's nothing that is done to the populace, the people who in quote elected you, the people who you are supposed to serve. You are looking, flamboyant. You are using what they feel is the resources of the state on yourself. And they are being pauperized. And you are now telling them that please be patient with us while we are seeing you enjoying. And they are saying, no, something must not be right here. So, Mr. President, we want you to address it. And so it goes without saying that sovereignty belongs to the people. And by which the government takes its power, it's the people that owns the power. What they did during the election was to submit their power to you by saying that we are giving you this power. We are delegating our power to you so that you hold this as a trust to govern us collectively. And so when at that point the people are saying, no, we need you to attend to us on this point. We need you to attend to us on this plate. It is now proper for you to look at what they are saying and address it. And so that is what the protesters are saying. That, look, we want you to address so many issues. Poverty on the land. What are you doing? What can you do? Now, people have said, oh, the government cannot go back on fuel subsidy. Good. What we are saying is, if the government cannot go back on fuel subsidy, what measure can you put in place?
The president highlighted the measures that he put in place.
No, those measures the president
in terms
highlighted.
of long-term, short-term interventions also as to dealing with this immediate and long-term solutions to the problem.
Okay, well, I will go into the content of the president's speech, and I'm going to address that. So, no, those are what the people are saying. Yeah. And of course, it is because the president's speech did not address those issues. And that is why directly, and that is why you are seeing people, the protesters, some of the protesters still be on the street. That is why you see a lot of people who have come out to condemn the speech of the president, because in their own opinion, they feel dissatisfied. Like I was saying today on a TV station, that I was deflated when I heard the president's speech. It is not. We are not looking at the composition of his speech. We are not looking at the delivery of his speech. We are looking at how the president's speech addressed
the issues
raised by the protesters. That is what we are marking. If you want to look at, how good the speech is, what the president has done, the president plan, you will give him a pass mark. The president have said that within the past months he came in, within 1 year, the revenue of the government has increased. As at some few months back, it was 9.1 trillion. This was as a result of the blockages, of the digitalization of the process. And so the government have earned more money. That is beautiful. That is good. People want to hear that. But the government have made more money. How has it impacted on the people? The president have said, there are a lot of infrastructure. For example, if you are in FCT, you will see a lot of development that are going on. You can give that. You can take that to the bank. If you are in FCT, you see a lot of development going out, taking place in the FCT. But the question is, all Nigerians are not in the FCT. Now, doing this infrastructure, I live in FCT. You and I stay in FCT. I don't know how the infrastructure that has been improved, how it has affected my account. I am a private person that they have infrastructure. I don't know. It has not added anything to me.
So there's that conflict between infrastructural development and human development, the human index as my welfare.
So that is exactly what we are saying. That is the people. People need to be alive for you to drive on that road. The people need to be alive for them to see the road. The people need to be alive for them to see your light, to see the electricity you are putting on the street. So those are the issues, So the president talks about, the amount of the digital centers he has created for children, for young people, for young entrepreneurs. He talked about the money, the student loan and all of that. He said so many things about monies he gave. So there was this particular amount of money he said, about 500 and something billion, that he said he gave to the governors. And that to me, I took that very seriously. And in one of my discussions this morning, I said, that is where we should even start from. The president, why we are making this demand? The president should have come and, as a former governor, as an activist, I felt as an activist, is sensitive to the yearnings of the people. As a former governor, you understand the psychology of the governors arm of government, he should, by now, based on the demands of the protesters, he would have said, gentlemen, governors, I bought out this money. I distributed this amount of money to all the governors. What can you tell the people? Can you tell your state what you have done with this money? Because the whole excess of the money, from what he said, is to ameliorate the effect of, to cushion the effect of the removal of fuel subsidy, increment in tariff. So to cushion that effect, governors were given money. What have the governors done with the money? Like I said this morning in one of the TV programs, I said I expected that what the president should have done was to say from Monday, 10 a.m., let us have a press briefing of not the ministers right now, the governors.
As to how they use
what they are doing in their states, with what they are doing with the money that came from the president based on what the president said in his speech.
Because as I want to bail out, sorry to interject, he also, over time, even some commentaries have been that FAC has increased to some states.
Correct.
As a result of we have a bit more, so channel it to the states. So the big question you're saying, how are the states utilize this fund to better the welfare of the people?
Yes. So I am following it, sequentially from what the president said. So I said that what the president should have done as a former president, because when I was invited to speak about my expectation from the speech of the president, I said, the president is going to give a good speech. The president is going to address the issues. And I said, why? Because they said, what's the basis of that? I said, he was a former activist, former chieftain of Nadeko. He was a... He understands the issues. He knows what it means. He knows where he buys them. He knows the language to use. He can identify with the yearning and desperation of those guys on the street. He has been on the street and all of that. He has been on the trenches. So give it to him. It is a giving. Don't worry. The protest is going to be over. Let him just talk. We are waiting. I know for that. We just add a beer and we say we are going to hear the president. Just for the president. The president did not even speak as an activist. The president never spoke as a governor. The president just spoke as somebody who is angry, who is disconnected from the people. The speech did not reflect that. Like I said in the program this morning, I felt this person who wrote that speech did a very bad job. His advisors did a very bad job. His managers did a very bad job, in the sense that those issues that were raised
were not addressed
in that speech. We knew all these things he said. Most of the ministers who came up, they've been telling us about the project they've been doing, the program of immigration. We're talking about the roads, the 4-lane roads they are constructing from Lagos to Calabar, the infrastructure going on. We are aware of all these things. But you see, before we get those infrastructures, Nigerians need to be alive to enjoy those infrastructures. And those are the points we are trying to make. So we were looking at a situation where the president, talking about his speech now, he would have asked the governors, please, can you come and tell your individual state, maybe every six governors or 3 governors for every day. In the next 2 weeks, 3 governors come. The governor of Edo State, for example, comes in. Or let us do it alphabetically. Abia State. He comes and says, gentlemen, yes, I have received, within this period the president came, I have received 50 billion. 10 billion was the first palliative he said. If you remember, during that period, there was this palliative issue that was sent to governors. Some said they received, some said they did not receive. No, those who received will now come and say, okay, gentlemen, the governor of Abia State is speaking to you. In my state in Abia, we have 19 local government. In the 19 local government, when I got the 10 billion, I did A with it. I bought buses. I paid this. We are going to engineering. We are doing that. We are making this. If you are from Abia State, we can. So, people can be telling us, if you are from Abia State, based on this palliative, we have said, if you're a young person, free food for you. The next one from Bauchi, we come and say, okay, what I did was that if you are a student, we are giving you free education from primary, secondary to university, or from primary and secondary. That is on one part. For the market women, if you need loan, you have access to minimum or maximum of 100,000. This is what we are doing in our various states. Or somebody is saying, we are in our state university, we have cut for state university of my state, for example, in Anambra State University, for example, if the governor of Anambra is speaking, we have said for every student in Anambra State University, we have reduced your tuition by 50% to cushion the effect, so that that money you should have, used to pay more money to.
So it doesn't sound like the rhetorics of we've given money and people cannot really connect with what was done.
So people want to see what you have done with this money. Do you understand? Don't come and tell us that, you are giving cash to 50, 75 million Nigerians who happen to be ghosts. I mean, people have said so many things that, we have... Can you imagine just last year, over 751 billions were alleged to have been given by the Minister for Humanitarian, whatever. And we could not connect with them. Like I told somebody, if you have distributed 754 billions, to me, I would just say by now we should be seeing standing in Nigeria 744 billion now. Just give them 1 billion. So we know we have you have made 754 billionaires and we can see them. Than telling us that you have distributed 754 billionaire to Nigerians. And we have not, I mean, if Nigeria have 754 billionaires, one of them will come and say, look, with my 1 billion I have. I mean, if you have 1 billion, you're a billionaire. All you need to do is to set up factories or tell us what you want to do with the 1 billion. That when I was given 1 billion, I went to set up a factory, or I opened a shop, or I got a farmland. I'm employing 10 people. And can you imagine what this young guy that opened, this guy with POS, if you give the owners of the POS 10 million, they will get 20 POS stands. But now you are giving 754 billion. It means that I said you should have told us we want to be seeing these 754 billionaires standing and telling us that, I have this billion, I've set up this. But you see, it is this ghost
thing. So it's a bit opaque.
Yeah, so it's very opaque. We don't want that story. We want to see a practical step. What the governors have done, what they've used our money to do, how it will have a direct effect on us. How do you feel? If, for example, the president, based on the agitations of Nigerians, the president now calls the likes of Dangote, the likes of Barr, the guys who produce rice, our local industries, and said, do you know what? Prices are high for these grains because these are staple food. These are where Nigeria, whether in every episode you go to, they eat either rice, gari, pound yam, all of that. And these guys are the people, Gandhi has his own grains and all of that. And you now say, look, bring down the prices of this. We are going to give you a tax waiver for 10%, 20%, just for you to reduce the price of your commodity.
Well, didn't the government say they were going to set up strategic points in different parts of the country for subsidized grain and food?
That is the issue. The government will tell you what they were going to do, and they are never done. So, and that is what the issues are. What are you doing right now? And that is the basis of the protest. It was not today they removed the square subsidy. It was not today they removed the increased electricity tariff. But Nigerians were waiting to see the effect. All these things you have done, what have you done to cushion that effect? And they are not saying it. And that is why now the agitation is high. Because if you have done that and you have taken some step to cushion the effect, for even the fuel you have removed subsidy. What I expected is that fuel should be at various filling stations.
Nobody even explaining why we're still having scarcity at the moment.
In our filling station. And you have told us your own lies that, if you remove fuel subsidy, the oil distributors, marketers, they will be competitive. High in demand, low in price. You deceived us and we believe you and we're watching. And now,
the government never really...
fuel scarcity in the country.
Since
the fuel subsidy was removed, we have had more fuel scarcity than any other.
Giwa, I just need to jump in here. The government never at any point gave any grandiose idea to Nigerians about how we're going to live happily ever after if subsidy is removed. They looked at it from the perspective as to the cost of running the nation and the borrowing. However, we had overzealous people who were going on different platforms and saying this is what it's going to translate into. Hopeful that it was going to translate into that, but it did not. No. And there were a lot of people who were saying, let's not be delusional. This is not going to result into availability because we're still importing this stuff, and there are a lot of variables to contend with at the end of the day.
No, the impression, yes, one of the arguments they brought in was that that is what they call deregulation.
Okay.
If you remember this issue of let us deregulate, let us liberalize, so that every marketer shall now go there, you buy, you sell at your price. But they said, when you don't regulate, they will be giving out there. But they said, no, everybody is selling. If this filling station pegs its own price at 500, this one will say, no, I want to sell better, I'll make it for 450, so that people can. So they gave us that idea that it is, in market forces and all of that. So we were somehow some people who believe their economics, even the economics in their bedroom, say, okay, it is true. We know we know economics. That's true, and they told us those things, and we believe them. And we are now in it. The price have been deregulated. They've removed fuel subsidy. We don't have fuel in the filling station.
Apparently, nobody's even attending to that problem.
I mean, because it's going to be more. It will be annoying. So we don't want to even ask that question. Why we are still having
the first scarcity,
the queues, the first scarcity, even after you have removed the subsidy.
But Giwa, do you think that anything is going to change significantly after this protest with the government?
Yes, mindset will change. If not for anything.
On which side, the people or the government?
They don't know the government. They now know that the people are watching closely. The people are going to ask questions. Even if they call off the protest, it is calling off the protest to see what is going to be done. Like all the governors who have spoken, we are going to dialogue. I mean, there must be a point of engagement. So if the protest is called up, there will be the reason why government and the people, like Lagos State have said, they're setting up the youth minister for youth, the commissioner for youth and IT to start engaging with the protesters and the youth group and all of that. So there is a mindset. People want to talk. And, so I think in other states too, people are looking at how you know
why I asked? Because we had a major protest some time back with the NSAS, and a lot of promises were made. Committees were set up to even interrogate people who were killed, what generated into blah, 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 and how it degenerated. White papers were sent that till date. Lagos State, for example, one isn't even privy to what's contained except for the leak that came out of it. There were calls that they were going to have serious reforms with the police and SARS. Yes, they disbanded NSAS and came up with SWAT. One isn't sure what the structure is at the moment. But do we still have police brutality to a certain extent? Yes, we do. You start to wonder, was there really a seismic shift in the way things were? Enough for us to say something definite will happen and change that will be significant after this protest?
Yeah, I agree with you to some extent that there have been no significant and commensurate, difference between what it was before the NSAS protest and what it is after, the NSAS protest. But again, the reason is because, the NSAS protest took place during the Barr administration, and that was 2020, I think 2022 or so, and that is just 2 years before the Barr administration. But of course, the normal, perennial problem of government, lack of implementation. And Nigeria, we have collective amnesia. When something just happened, after 6 months, we tend to forget it because there's so many problems.
Exactly.
So when one problem comes, somebody comes, and tomorrow we are thinking of somebody, you are thinking about the election, we are thinking of what you have done, we are thinking about somebody took money, the snake swallowed money, and Nigeria, we concentrate on how come snake swallowed money again in Nigeria. We forgot the fact of the NSAS, we are pursuing one other thing, and there's a lack of concentration. But what this thing is going to do, it will now start making even both the governors and the government to start thinking, how do we do a follow-up? And that is why, and that it also takes us to this angle. The civil society will now start engaging the process. What is going on? How are they done? They need to be conscientizing the people as to the developmental issues of the government. They need to start telling the people. They need to start addressing the issues. Journalists like you need to start bringing some of these issues. I remember some few days ago, they were playing the comment by Kyari, the current MD of NNPC, who in 2019 was saying that within 1 year when he was appointed, or within 1 year, he was going to get the two refinery working. And so I was watching it yesterday from one of these stations. And because nobody hold these guys accountable. So people like Yari in NNPC, the GM of NNPC, should not be there right now. Because your commitment you made when you were appointed, You have failed.
Isn't that the function of who appointed him? Because Nigerians talk about these things on the daily. Go to social media, come on radio. You hear people say, didn't this man promise this?
Yes.
He's not been able to deliver. So it's left for the principal to say, okay, you've not delivered on your mandate.
Exactly.
You are not renewing the hope of the people.
That is one of the demands. The people should be saying that you gave us this promise. You said the refineries will be working. As of today, even the guy that I just built refinery, you want to frustrate him. So you need to give account. Why are the refineries not working? They gave us stories that Port Harcourt refinery, they gave different dates. Oh, June.
One isn't sure when to.
Oh, May. We got all. I mean, this is so absurd. I mean, Nigerians are not being treated properly.
All right.
I mean, it is so annoying, and I think that government should first of all apologize to Nigerians for the abuse on our psyche, the way and manner they have conducted their affairs in the past few months. Of course, in the past few years have been terrible. But this government, which we think, I have so much confidence in President Tinubu because of his background, like I said. But what we are seeing right now, it's really very, very questionable.
Well, when it even comes to his background, there's a lot to debate about that, but that's not the conversation at the moment. Lawrence Eze says someone that was able to get 8 million votes out of 250 million citizens can't do anything for the nation. Are we 250 million people now, Lawrence? Well, we're going to base it on the number of people who registered to vote. Honorable Buba says, okay, thank you very much for welcoming me back. Zainab Ndakun says, thank you very much, Barrister Giwa. You're hitting the nail on the head. The suffering of some of us is not something we can describe. Kamara Osman, I see you on YouTube. Welcome back. Tope, thank you very much. Well, it's interesting that you brought Barrister Giwa. He's not talking land. He's talking national issues. Uche Talking says, okay, yes, I had a great time. Thank you very much. It's quite sad that due to unfriendly policies of the previous government, Nigerians have been reduced to just food when other countries are making advancements in technology, from Mr. Walf. And this government did not have an alternative for the people. Nothing. They talked about CNG buses, etc. Where are the CNG buses? Over a year now, we haven't seen anyone. Even in Abuja, talk more of other states. This government is not being serious. What did they do with the money removed from subsidy? Nothing, only to increase governor's revenue, and nothing for the common man. Kalito sent that one in. And let's see here. The president never spoke on any of the issues that Nigerians are demanding, even one. He didn't say anything about it. One of the callers who said court asked the protesters to go to the stadium. Why are they outside the stadium? I want to let the caller, okay, this is definitely not directly tied to our conversation now. Mohamed Musa from Gariki says, I'm glad you're back. Thank you very much. I think the president needs some help and should seek one. We have Council of State that comprise of former presidents, and if it's head of state who are experienced with more political influence, now the things are getting out of hand, you should go to them so that they can put him back in order. This one is suggesting the Council of State meet with other heads of state and president. Great conversation out there, Barrister Giwa. I salute you, says Hafsat. Let's hear this caller. Remember, you can leave your thoughts on Facebook, YouTube, or WhatsApp. Our phone numbers are 0700 951 0000. Hello.
Yeah, hello, good afternoon, team.
Good afternoon.
Thank you. How are you doing?
Fine and well. What's your name, sir?
Yeah, thank you. My name is Suleiman, coming from Dubai.
Go ahead, Suleiman.
Thank you. I think Barrister Giwa is doing a great job there. In all honesty, when Mr. President removed initially, the next person I was expecting Mr. President to remove was the GMB or whatever of NMPC. But for Mr. President to leave that same man there, up to this very moment, that was when I personally began to lose confidence and hope in the present administration. Because it does the same Mr. Buhari did with NSA, but it's not NSA down to the entire end of his administration. But the same thing this man is doing with Medicare. It was the same Medicare that promised Buhari in 2019 that his farewell package will be the coming to life of the 4 refineries we have in this country. And up to this very moment, we don't have that. And this same Medicare promised us heaven and earth last year that before December, or by December, the Port Harcourt refinery will come to life. And this is August now. Nothing to show for it. So why should I believe this government anymore? Or why should I believe the government again? I have no reason whatsoever to believe the government in whatsoever. In fact, even I yourself believe on the government again.
All right.
That's it. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Let's hear this other caller quickly. Hello? Yes, you're welcome. Thank you very much. Let's hear this. Good afternoon.
I remain Justice of Peace.
Go ahead, sir.
Yes. The barrister have said it all. You see, in Nigeria, we the citizens don't believe on the government. And the government too, I think the way it is now, until you hold them down to their truth, they can't even do anything because whatever they promised, it will be on the pipeline till maybe the pipe will burst. Just like the issue of a minimum wage that has been there over 1 year after subsidy was removed. It marvels me that the person that we are praising as the master builder, the foundational builder, will now will now behave like one who don't even have anything at the upstairs. And we, the street men, have to now come and be giving advice. For me, this man knows that governor, which he was won from 1999, looting or acquiring this money to send to them, they will never do anything out of it. And they sending money to them, and we are now shocked why they are not using the money very well. There is nothing they will do. And it's a game playing because he himself that is allocating the money for them. Has he asked them what? Is he not aware that nothing is really going on? He knows.
All right.
So I think the whole thing is that they are just playing game, kalo. You chop this one, I chop this one. And he believes that in the next 4 years, he will play the game for the next 8 years. I want to caution most of his supporters. They should watch what happened in Daura. I heard that Daura people protested the former president. Those who are benefiting today, it will hit them tomorrow. Maybe by then the fuel is at 1,005. They will now face the reality of life.
Thank you very much, Justice of Peace. We need to go on a quick break, but let's look at this message quickly. Run for the break and be back with more. The president cannot file out governors like schoolboys to give account of their stewardship of the usage of money given. The way the media CSOs and other Nigerians are putting pressure on Mr. President should put same pressure on the governors. Is it difficult to do that? We're running a federation. Mr. President is not a school principal. Olufemi Shoretire, take there. Let's go on this very quick break, shall we?
Hello, my name is Kimberly. I'm the host of Hard Facts, and I bring you the biggest stories driving conversation every weekday here on 95.1 Nigeria Info Hard Fact Show. I love to get your opinion and conjectures, but the facts you cannot dispute here on Hard Facts. Join me and let's talk.
This is Nigeria Info.